I serve the great state of Michigan, including miles of beautiful West Michigan coastline, one of the largest freshwater estuaries in the entire country, the largest river system in the state of Michigan, all within my district. To say this is an essential conversation is truly an understatement. Ms. Briggs, while I agree with you that particularly in our ag community, we are experiencing incredible uncertainty, the Sackett decision has undermined our ability in significant and meaningful ways to protect this precious, non-renewable natural resource. Despite state-level efforts to bolster water regulations, there is no guarantee that our neighbors will pursue the same protections under the Sackett decision, as water can cross state lines. We see that in the Great Lakes region as clear as when you pull up a map. This ruling may ultimately hinder Michigan's efforts. We're one of 3 states which has been designated the authority to govern our own wetlands to enforce those laws. Ms. Rowan, Colorado has similarly sought to maintain strong water standards at the state level. Can you speak to the burden states that have led in safeguarding their waters must carry without strong and consistent federal protections post-Sackett?
Thank you, Congresswoman. So I think an immediate need for our state, again, was making sure that the uncertainty that was left behind didn't hinder economic development and progress. And so, we had to really get creative quick and develop an enforcement policy. And we were fortunate enough, to have our legislature move forward, based on a lot of stakeholder support and common ground for a solution in Colorado that can hopefully withstand some of the back and forth that we've seen at the federal level. I do think that, one burden that we are facing is that we had to, put state dollars together to fund this program and be able to issue timely permits in the ways that our regulated community deserves and desires. And so that's one big impact is the financial burden.
Thank you. As I mentioned, Michigan is home to the largest freshwater estuary system in this region, arguably in the world, considering the Great Lakes being the largest reservoir of fresh water. Also home to 275,000 acres of Great Lakes coastal wetlands, which are incredibly biologically diverse and imperative to the health of the larger Great Lakes basin. However, these coastal wetlands connect to groundwater sources and may be at risk as the groundwater connects below the surface, not meeting the post-Sackett definition of waters of the United States. Again, to Ms. Rowan, can you elaborate on how essential these wetlands are in ensuring water quality standards and healthy habits, as well as how Sackett may harm critical groundwater sources linked to these wetlands below the water surface?
Thank you, Congresswoman. Coming from an arid West state, our water is very important and valued, and, wetlands provide a very critical way to and a natural solution for filtering pollutants and protecting downstream water supplies. And, also have an impact on protecting our groundwater sources, which are used for a variety of ways in Colorado for agriculture, drinking water. And so it is just vital that we did find a way to protect this resource in Colorado.
Thank you. I invite anyone else to offer comments in the remaining few seconds that we have.
Could I add?
Yeah.
Thank you, Congresswoman. I empathize with the concern over state resources and having adequate funding, and applaud Colorado for making that investment. I would add, though, that I don't know that, so under our 402 program, for example, which is where the federal government has jurisdiction and we are implementing a federal program, funding is grievously short currently. And so for our program, for example, we get about, $1 million, $1.5 million through EPA and federal funding for that program, and then we invest $5 million of state funds. So I think a lot of states are already providing an investment in protecting their waters. And so I don't know that the post-Sackett world is necessarily that dramatic of a change, but I do think that if EPA and the executive wanted to better support states in protecting our waters, that funding the federal programs that we're implementing would be a good step in that direction.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And, again, without clean water, we're not going to be able to enjoy the incredible apples, blueberries, asparagus, and the vital ag industry that we have. And, again, believe me, I hear you on the uncertainty. Our farmers are existing in the margins right now. This is a serious issue that demands a serious response from legislators on both sides. Thank you again for your testimony today. I yield back.